Why aren't you dating anybody right now? Story number 1. Honestly, most of my hobbies, reading, video games, have me inside, and I don't meet too many new people in my work. I do in a small company, so without interacting with new people, new relationships logically won't follow. Obviously, I could try being more social and go into events and such, but most of the events happening around are ones I'm not interested in. So it'd be pretty weird to go to them just to maybe meet someone, and cool events would mean spending a ton of money to buy tickets and go to. Pretty much just hang out with friends online now. If something happens, great, but I'm not going to make it a focal point about my life when other than dating, things are pretty good. Flow for now and see where life takes me. Story number 2. I haven't really noticed anyone who likes me as more than a friend in a long time, plus I got kinda weary about things after a long-term relationship, so the second I see anything that could possibly be red flags, I tend to friendzone them. I'm just so averse to the hassle of a relationship, I'm not interested in finding out about it. I'm not a particularly attractive guy, and my whole life people have let me know it. But that's okay, I've had a few relationships and I'm not a virgin, so I don't really have anything I need to prove. If I meet someone that I like and they like me back, I've always figured we'll just find each other and click. At least that's what I've always hoped. Hate to be the guy that looks back on his life and realizes he had plenty of opportunity but just never made a move. Story number 3. It's not for lack of trying, but I'm blind and most dating apps don't work for me, and also, when people think of dating someone, a blind person who literally can't drive a car isn't exactly the first person they'd think of dating, so my chances are low at best of finding a date. Even if my qualities as a person are good, I have found that most aren't able to look past the fact I am blind. I can't change that about myself though, and I don't want to be constantly rejected by people like has happened to me in the past, so now I don't chase women. Because I figure if a woman wants me, she can get to know me and make things clear, and then I'll put 100% of my emotions into a relationship I know will last. I don't want to get hurt anymore. I'm tired of feeling the pain that comes with loving someone who doesn't love you or thinking you're putting everything in to someone only for them to not have loved you the same way at all, and ruining perfectly good relations as a result. It's like knives hitting your heart, but in this case, I've been hit so many times. I simply couldn't care less anymore. It just hurts too much. Story number 5. 3 years ago, I was dating the latest in a line of women with whom it just wasn't going to work. I thought, what am I doing here, perpetually emotionally coming and going, spending money on experiences I later regret, time spent, emotion spent, and I thought, let's try the opposite of what we've been doing. Rather than looking for someone who completes me, maybe I should focus on completing myself and not looking for anyone at all. Actively disinterested in dating, someone flirts, don't flirt back, get a number, don't call. I have removed myself from the world of romance, and it was the right decision. My work is going great. I bought a house. I am emotionally neither coming nor going, simply centered in content. I don't know if I'll ever date again. I might someday, but there was such a huge payoff for me to just not date that whoever a future SO might be will have to be so staggeringly perfect that I have no choice but to date her. Odds of her showing up, I don't know, don't really care either. I'm happy as I am. Story number 6. I broke up with a woman I truly believed I would spend the rest of my life with about 5 months ago. We were together for 4 years. It took 3 years of couples counseling to discover that she truly had no intention or capacity to look inward. Once I accepted that, I decided that I should be looking elsewhere for love. But once I started dating, I realized how much of my mental bandwidth I had devoted to others, and I decided to turn that focus towards myself. I've completely stopped dating now, and I'll probably be single for the foreseeable future. Once I decide that I've met my goals for self-development and accomplishments, then I'll be open to starting some new relationships. There's no shortage of women or men, if that's your thing, to take up your time, and you have the rest of your life to be partnered up. Right now I'm focusing on my relationship with myself. Story number 7. I'm happier alone. I'm sure some people who know me think it's just an act, but it's really true. I don't want to negotiate what we're having for dinner or where we're going, what we're watching on Netflix, who left the toilet seat up, whether I should buy a new video game console. I don't want to hear about what all men do nor do. I want to plan my vacations with an itinerary, scheduling everything down to the millisecond. I just want to drive and see where the car takes me, and if it's Glacier National Park, I don't want to negotiate whether that trail is too long, too steep, or has too many bears. I also detest vanity. Spending an inordinate amount of time and money on stupid shit like hair highlights or professionally manicured nails is just so senseless. And I don't care what the neighbors drive or if they bought a $10,000 sofa. Story number 8. Dating has become very transactional. The last 4 women I dated all said let's go on a weekend getaway. This was pre-sex. If I took them somewhere, I would have got the sex for sure. So for them to give it up, I have to spend $1,000, $2,000. I don't want to spend that on someone I've never had sex with. They don't want to give it up unless I make some grand gesture. Since I stopped dating 4 months ago, I have bought 2 new drum sets, both off my dream sheet. I bought a 6,000 carbon fiber dream road bike and my dream new car. I was spending $4,000 a month dating. Now I spend it all on myself. It's way better. I always have so much more money now. I've had adult relationships for 25 years. Every time a woman was in my life, I was broke, living paycheck to paycheck, getting creative with paying bills. I've been monk mode single twice. Both times had plenty of money in the bank, no stress, no heartbreak, life is stable, nobody disappoints me. Women are expensive. I'm 43 and I'm over it. I feel like I'm retired. Sex is great, but it's not worth the trouble, headache, and heartache. Story number 9. My last ex and I got pregnant. I had a weird vibe from her though. Immediately sex dried up. She was always on her phone and she started going through my stuff. In the course of this, she found out I wanted to get a paternity test just to be sure because I heard a lot of crazy stories throughout my life and well, suddenly the pregnancy is hard on her body. Never mind, she has several children already. She eventually talks to me and suggests abortion. I'm pro-choice. And I know I don't have a say in the matter. This baby is not coming out. We struggle through this, or I did, because I went on to discover she was sleeping with someone else. Don't know when it started, but it must have been for a while. And when I found out the slandering she was doing quietly became public. The idea of a woman being capable of that, of taking everything away from me, slandering my name, leaving me that shattered. I can't trust the gender anymore in any context but friendship. I just can't. I am no red pill, mine. It just isn't worth it to me. I can't go through that again.